All right, Algebra 2. Last chapter for your year is going to be a little statistics. Easy for me to say. I told you this before. I think this is the most important math you're going to get. Not that it helps you solve problems, but it helps you make good decisions. What kind of field you get into in the world, they use statistics to make the right decision. They'll sample some data, they'll look at some existing data, and the hard part about stats is knowing which math to actually use. There's all kinds of numbers to create statistics, all kinds of ways to find central tendency and variance. And how you get smart at it is by knowing which to use. The math's very cumbersome, and the nice thing about it is, like on Excel or in Sheets and Google Docs, you can put the numbers in and get the answer right out. Just type the numbers in of your data set. Again, you have to learn how these numbers are calculated, so that's the difficult part. But once you have a way for the numbers to be calculated, again through Excel or Sheets, you can just put the numbers in, have it spit out the number, and decide, make your decision. All right, so anyway, a couple things here for you. You should know what mean is. If you add up all numbers, divide by the number of numbers. The median's good because you put the numbers in order and you go to the middle value. And that middle value kind of represents all the numbers. It helps hide some of the numbers that are on the very far edge, like outliers. And the mode then is the number that appears the most in your data set. So I'm not going to show you how to do all those. I just wanted to talk about them a little bit. Dispersion is a statistic that tells you how dispersed or spread out the numbers are. If the numbers are really spread out, is the average valuable? These are things you have to look at and know how to look at them when you take stats. So again, it's not the math so much about the math and stats, it's how to know how to handle the numbers, and then what to do with the numbers when you get the answer. Standard deviation is amazing. It helps you see like the average distance from the average. Yeah, you heard me right. It's the kind of the average distance of some value from the average of the group's numbers. If it's big number, it means that they're dispersed a lot, maybe not valuable data. This looks complicated here, but it is to find standard deviation. It's a lot of work. Again, spreadsheets do it real easy. Just put in your list of data, calculate it with a simple couple button presses. I'm not doing any of the math here, folks, by the way. Outlier is always good to know. If you have numbers that are way outside the rest of the group's behavior, you can ignore them because somebody took bad data or they're just a whack job kind of data, and you can ignore them. But that takes training and experience. Okay. The other thing I'll talk about here quick is like normal distributions. Most behaviors, most processes, the outcomes are distributed over a normal curve, meaning most of the product, let me show you here quick, oops. If you have a machine that's making product, and this is the average value in here, most of them, 68% will be within one standard deviation of it. Some will be larger maybe or smaller than that, but they all follow this curve. That's called a normal curve. And that's in a lot of processes and a lot of jobs you're going to go to, folks. You're going to be, when they make their products, they're going to be following this. Because they allow parts to be so much bigger or smaller than the average, some number of standard deviation. But understanding how this number where it comes from and how you get it to use will be important for you, again, in a lot of jobs. So that's why I think taking stats can be important for you. What else we got here? Not a lot. A z-score kind of normalizes everything. Basically, without knowing what the average of something is, you just call the average 0. And then it can, if it's 1, it's off by 1, not 1 inch or 1 mile. It's off by 1 standard deviation or less than 1 standard deviation. But they take the units out of it. Everything's just kind of normalized to numbers 1, 2, and 3. And that's kind of nice without getting things too complicated about knowing what the units measure are. And I think that's about all I want to go with for you folks. A lot of you hopefully will take stat either next year or the year after. Again, as you're going through life, you're going to see it. It's good to know it. People who have that background are more valuable and make more money. So If you get a chance, take some stat going forward. All right, my friends, have a good summer.